Welcome to the next section in your success session. And now we are going to be talking about sleep. Sleep is the most important aspect in regards to your overall health and getting your body to where you want it to get. Okay. If we don't get enough sleep, our hormones are going to be out of whack. And remember, hormones control everything about you, and that includes fat loss and weight loss. A lot of trainers and nutritionists will tell you that it's about 70-80% nutrition and 20-30% working out. That's not true. Sleep is one of the big aspects. I would put it up at probably 50% in terms of your success rate. So how much sleep do you actually need? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours? How much? So they've done studies showing it. There's a lot of factors into it. Depends on who you are, what your genetics is, and certain other factors. But the most important thing is getting to bed at a decent hour. So they've shown and done studies showing that melatonin production is the biggest and most in between the hours of midnight and 2 to 3 a.m. Okay, so this is typically when you're in your deep REM sleep state, and reaching a deep REM sleep state every night is the only way that you're going to fully recover. So you can sleep 10, 12 hours. If you never reach that deep REM sleep state, you're not really getting sleep, or you're not getting the restorative powers of sleep. Okay, so if you go to bed at midnight, you're not going to get the full effects of it. Typically, you want to get to bed at least by 11, the earlier the better. So they say for every hour before midnight, you're getting like an additional hour of sleep. So you go to bed at 10, that's 2 hours before midnight. It equates to an extra 4 hours of sleep to the brain. Okay. So setting up a sleep routine. Okay, so you want to have a routine for sleep, just like you have a routine for coming to Improvement Warrior Fitness, and a routine for prepping your meals for the week, all that stuff. Okay, so my sleep routine is I'll typically get home from teaching class, usually around 8 to 9 in the evening. When I come home, I immediately will turn my lights, my white lights, so those fluorescent white lights, I will turn them to a fluorescent orange color. And what this does is taking the blue light out. Okay, so when you have blue light, you have blue lights emitting from your iPhone, your iPad, from your TV, from regular white fluorescent lights. There's blue light coming out of that. And what blue light does is it basically shuts down your melatonin production, or stops it from producing at all, and it basically increases your cortisol. So cortisol is supposed to raise in the morning, as it's supposed to wake us up. It's one of the stress hormones. So it's supposed to be high in the morning and then gets lower as we are getting ready to go to bed. Problem is, if you're on your phone or you're looking at blue light, watching TV, all the way up to bedtime, cortisol is going to raise. So your body is still going to think that it's like 4 p.m., 3 p.m. in the afternoon, okay, when it's actually time to be shutting down and going to sleep. Okay. So fluorescent orange light bulbs, and if you have lights that can't be changed, get a lamp or 2 or 3 and set them up in rooms that you are going to be. Okay. If you are going to be using electronics before bed, and I use electronics usually every night before bed, what I would recommend is getting a blue light blocker glasses. So if you go, I get mine on Amazon, just type in blue blocker, BLU blocker glasses. Those will come up. You can also do orange construction glasses. Those are the kind that I use most often, and I actually like those better than the blue blocker. The blue blocker they're quite dark, and sometimes it's hard to see, especially when I'm prepping vegetables and stuff. So the orange construction glasses give you a little bit more clearer vision, and plus I like they block out the sides, so your peripheral vision is blocked out from blue light as well. Now for the room, and actually one more thing is turning electronics off. So usually I try to get at least a half an hour with no electronics, just fluorescent orange light. Usually I'm reading in bed before I go to bed. So that's another thing. Try and get as much time possible away from the electronics before your actual sleep time. So typically I go to bed at 10:45 p.m. each night. So I try to get in bed and reading at like 10:15. But you'll set your own schedule based on what you want to achieve. And when you do go to sleep, your room, you want to make that as dark as possible. So if you can, get some blackout curtains, and basically if you hold your hand up in front of you while you're sleeping, you shouldn't be able to see your hand. Okay, and I do recommend using a sleep mask that will help obviously cut the light out from the eyes. But if there's still light going on inside, remember your skin has photoreceptors all over it, so your skin can see light, and that's why you want it as dark as possible. So we want to shut any chances of shutting down our melatonin production off away, because we want to get that deep recovering REM sleep. Temperature, you want to make the temperature in the room a little cooler than you're used to, and that's basically, I don't know the science behind that, but the cooler it is, it pretty much turns the brain off so it can get into that deep sleep state a little quicker. So that's it for sleep. There's a lot of resources online. I know Sean Stevenson has a book on sleep. I haven't read it, but I've listened to like 20 interviews with him, and he's pretty knowledgeable in that area if you want to check that out. And that is it that I have for sleep. I will see you on the next slide.